Just kidding. Hey again, YouTube, Nutjob with Machete back with another review for you. So this is the smallest machete I actually own. I almost treat it like a big knife. It is the Cold Steel Bowie Machete. I think this is actually the smallest machete they offer. They have a Tanto version of this that is coming out this year. I think it might have just been released, and so I'll bring that review as soon as I pick one up. But for the Bowie machete, well, as you can see, standard cordura sheath, hardened tabs so you don't poke through, single snap retention with a fair sized belt loop. Boring. I made a different sheath for it and I'll show you guys it in a minute. And as you can tell, this has been already slightly modified, so I'm sorry I can't show you right out of the box. But I have put this thing through its paces so I can actually tell you it is pretty goddamn good. The handle, it's essentially a full tang construction. There's a lanyard hole at the bottom here that I've just covered up because, like I said, I use this a bit more like a big knife, and I've wrapped it up with Zytel handles so I get a really good grip in the hand for any sort of quick stuff or big chopping jobs. This little pommel swell, whatever this is called, actually does a really good job, keeps it in your hand really nicely. The handle itself, stained plastic that Cold Steel always does. The steel, 1055 high carbon steel, and what I've done is, just like with Idun, the Barong machete, I stripped off that blacking, polished it up, and then just sealed the blade up. And as you can tell, put it through its paces, it's got some marks on it. I gotta admit, it's pretty damn cool to have a machete this small or a knife this big, however you want to think of it. The blade, when it came, of course, had that little burr, so all I've done is reprofile the blade to around 20 degrees, and it is pretty damn sharp. I've also, I gotta admit, I was debating bluing this, but I kind of like it the way it is. Like I said, I've been carrying this around sort of as like a big camp knife while I'm going out, and it chops really damn well. Went through about 2-3 inch thick maple branches with just a couple of whacks. It doesn't really have the weight to be what I would consider like a proper machete, and because of that really nice clipped point, the sweet spot is a little bit lower on the blade. It's actually just before the sweep starts. So what you'll find is you might have to work a little bit harder to get a chop than on, say, a Barong machete or one of the larger machetes, even the small 18-inch Bolo or Latin. But that all said, that's why I kind of chose it as a big knife rather than a small machete, because it is really, really sharp. You get really great penetration. The clip point has a false edge on it. You can sharpen it up if you wanted to, but I didn't particularly care to. So all I've done on it is smoothed it out with some sandpaper and a ceramic rod to make it really smooth, and it actually does go into meat fairly easily. Yeah, I gotta admit, I really do like this thing. The sheath I made for it, so I didn't actually like that nylon sheath very much, so what I did was I made up this sheath, just out of Kydex. The nylon sheath, it's fine, single snap retention, all that stuff, but it sits kind of funny on the belt and it's pretty rigid when you're walking. You might want to do like a drop sheath on it if you can. And since I kind of suck at leather, I decided to make the Kydex one. So you can see it's designed for scout style carry. It's just on my web belt right now, so I can show you how it sits. And then I did up a couple of bands on it with 2 different points to mount to, just in case I want to use a wider belt. And then this is actually a concho So it's got a screw post on the back, and that is so that I can adjust the retention. It also kind of provides a spot where when I'm grabbing for the knife, I can feel immediately where to put the finger to just push away. And yeah, I gotta admit, kind of sits nice. Knife comes out, knife goes back. Knife's a little bit wider than me, thankfully. I get wider than this knife, I need to work out more. But it's actually pretty comfy. And I like this carry a little bit better for this knife, if I can get it back in the sheath, because, you know, it keeps it off my hip. I can have a smaller belt knife or my pouch or something like that. And if I want to do it on a web belt like this, I can wear it outside the clothes, outside a hoodie or outside a winter coat. But as for the Bowie itself, really, really nice, really, really light. Processes meat just fine. In fact, why don't we go to a quick chop test that I did. That's pork shoulder with bone in. And when I chopped, this actually went all the way down to the bone. And it was the bone that stopped it and left a little nick in the bone. And of course, I did end up eating that meat afterwards. Let's go to that and then we'll come right back. So yeah, obviously chopping just fine. Like I said, penetrates just fine. And using this as a woods tool, I found it was great for obviously small to medium chopping tasks. I wouldn't really baton with this. What I found was, even though this steel is really good and it's nice spring steel, it's 3 millimeters thick. I'll put the specs below. You don't really want to baton on this. The spine is a little bit soft, so I found that batoning, of course I was kind of mushrooming out the spine a little bit. So anything I can't chop through with this, I'm not going to try batoning with it. But using it as a big camp knife was kind of nice. So yeah. So as always guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Feel free to click like, feel free to subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and as always, feel free to share this video as much as you want. Until next time guys, I'm not John with Machete. Stay sharp.